Now, our nominee for the most likely to be one wild interview, again, has to be Jim Carrey. When I sat down with Jim to talk about his new movie, it was all we could do to keep him in the chair, but our many cameras caught his every move.
Welcome to an Entertainment Tonight exclusive.
Jim Carrey's every move is caught by an infinite number of hidden cameras in The Truman Show. So when I held court with the king of comedy, our cameras caught an infinite number of Jim Carrey's.
This whole thing revolves around cameras everywhere.
Right.
And you're in the
I have no experience with that.
Well, that's my question. How close does this parallel your life?
I think it's probably closer to Leo's life.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's a brand new Carrey as Jim discovers his entire life is the subject of a TV show. Director Peter Weir let Jim improvise such manic moments on the set.
There were times when I made, when I make the wrong choice, and he'd say, I don't think that's quite appropriate for this.
Right.
And I go, off by myself and go, I'm going to lose this job. I'm going to lose it. And think.
All that thinking led to this hilarious scene that Jim thought of one night in his bathroom.
I picked up a bar of soap and started making, I don't know why, but started making little, faces. Right. On the mirror and fitting my face into them. Then it got more elaborate. Soon it was like there's a whole wall of mirror in my bathroom.
Right.
Get the floors. Lauren would come over and she'd be sticking her face in there.
Right.
It was really fun and it got into the film.
Lauren is, of course, Jim's ex-wife, actress Lauren Holly. Former flames have been seen together in public recently, sparking rumors of a reconciliation.
We saw you out the other night with Lauren, and I'd love to hear what the situation is there.
Well,
Can you talk about
we're hanging out.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk too much about it.
Right, I understand.
Because when you're happy, you start talking about it. And then, something goes wrong or whatever, then people feel that you owe them that too.
Right.
And there's got to be a line drawn somewhere. So I'm gonna reserve my talk.
Okay. Should we be happy for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We should be happy for the two of you.
Yes.
Be happy about this movie too, Jim. It's a good one, The Truman Show, and look for the poster. It's incredible. And for more of my wild afternoon with Mr. Carrey, click onto our ET website. You can check out The Truman Show for yourself when it hits theaters on June 5th.
He might just be the luckiest.
As you saw, Premiere predicts that Jim Carrey and The Truman Show will be right in the middle of the summer madness. The big screen story has Jim's whole life broadcast around the world as a TV show. So when I sat down with Jim, I decided that we could start the movie a little bit early.
We live in this world of hidden cameras and lipstick cams the size of this. And
insane.
Everywhere you go.
I have a colon cam running through me right now.
Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
Jim Carrey knows all about hidden cameras. In The Truman Show, his entire life is caught on tape. So when I put Jim in the spotlight, I brought along a few hidden cameras of my own.
I have a wrist cam. And and look at that. I mean,
I wonder where that image was coming from. I'm going, man, that guy's good.
Look at that. Thank you very much.
How's this shot?
In some countries we'd be engaged now, Jim.
There's no point trying to explain it, but a lot of strange things have been happening.
In the movie, Jim can't even trust his best friends, who are all secretly actors. And I wondered if Jim can trust his friends in real life.
Can you make new friends and be sure that...
I like to think of myself as your friend.
I do too, but I have an ulterior motive too, Jim. You need to borrow some money. Yeah.
Jim will begin living in that world of hidden cameras when his new movie, The Truman Show, opens in early June. Old showbiz axiom that you leave them laughing. Jim Carrey's made millions doing it, and Tom Hanks became a star in a series of light romantic comedies. But this summer, Jim and Tom are out to shake you up, not break you up.
There's no point trying to explain it, but a lot of strange things have been happening.
Jim Carrey is turning a new corner in his career with The Truman Show, tackling a role that's part satire and part science fiction. He trusted director Peter Weir to keep him steered in the right direction.
And it's always a scary thing when you get to that, I guess it's a new step of sorts. And, you start thinking, oh, this guy's like a world-renowned director. He's not going to let me do anything. He's not going to let me change anything. And, it was the same as I've ever done. do whatever you want. Come to me with as many ideas as you want, and I'll tell you whether they suck or not.
Who are you talking to?
In the movie, Carrey is the last to learn that there are TV cameras everywhere, broadcasting his life since the day he was born, and that everyone, from his wife to his best friend, is an actor.
That whole idea of everybody around you is an actor. Now that you're big, you're Jim Carrey, how can you trust the people around you that they're really your friends, that they're not acting, that they're not putting it out just because they're who you are?
I don't trust them.
Any of them.
I'm alone in the world.
I'm not surprised.
No, I have a great group of people, great group of friends around me.
And even, can you make new friends and be sure that...
I like to think of myself as your friend.
I do too, but I have an ulterior motive too, Jim. Okay.
In truth, Jim says he's a pretty good judge of character.
I'm pretty clued into how people are.
Right.
I mean, you know, I know the face because I've used the face. You know,
right.
Jim Carrey will be making plenty more headlines this summer. He has landed on the covers of this week's Time magazine and New York magazine. And the early word about Jim's new movie, The Truman Show, is that it just might carry the clout to be a real lizard killer. It's the story of a man who discovers his entire life is a TV show. And Hollywood experts predict The Truman Show could be the next box office blockbuster.
Now, in its 30th great year, it's The Truman Show!
The film is already a hit with critics, but Jim told me that director Peter Weir found the movie challenging.
He asked me, by the way,
what?
How do I do it, Jim? How do I do it? I said, it's not my job. Not my job, pal.
It's nice to have that
You're
kind of
Geppetto,
support.
I'm the puppet. When I become a real boy, I'll let you know.
I like your pen. I was wondering that myself.
Jim takes a dramatic turn in The Truman Show, but co-star Noah Emmerich says it was still classic Carrey on the set.
There was one scene where it was hard for me not to crack up. The scene where I'm stuffing the candy machine, he comes in.
There's no point trying to explain it, but a lot of strange things have been happening.
He was just so bouncing off the walls. That was kind of the old Jim Carrey in a sense, that flavor.
Get ready for a different kind of Jim Carrey. He's been a liar, he's worn the mask, and he's been Dumb and Dumber. But now Jim's taking his movie career in a new direction, back to TV and without a laugh track.
He's taking his turn on the Lancaster Square.
It's always a scary thing when you get to that, I guess it's a new step of sorts.
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later. I'm definitely being followed.
This new step for Jim Carrey is the stunningly dramatic turn he takes in The Truman Show. As Bob Goen found out, it was a step first taken with his initial meeting with director Peter Weir.
It just so excited me that I immediately that night was in my bathroom going, oh, how can I add something to this? You know, this guy's really going for it. I mean, I picked up a bar of soap and started making little, you know, faces on the mirror and like fitting my face into them.
Trumania of the Burbank Galaxy.
Initially, there's a kind of, oh, what's this? What is this? You know, and this is not the Jim Carrey we've known. Then bang, we hit him. And the sky opens up, you know, and they're into the movie and they can't get out of it.
An entire human life recorded on an intricate network of hidden cameras.
The story has Carrey starring in his own TV show, The Truman Show, without his knowledge. The whole world has watched him grow up through hidden cameras directed by Ed Harris.
Cue the sign.
The buck rules, and when you put something on the air and people watch it, they'll put more of it on, and for some reason it's been going in that direction where it's more and more invasive.
Maybe I'm being set up for something. You ever think about that, Marlon?
We just watch. I don't know what's happened that we want to stay home and watch people live for us, but we do.
I can't believe you married Merrill on the rebound.
Living a life under the constant eye of a camera lens isn't a far cry from Carrey's real life.
It does affect you.
Does it
really
scare you?
affect
Does it?
you. Sometimes
Countdown to action.
I need you, and you need me.
Yeah.
You know, and that's fine. But I think sometimes you got to like throw a tent over the house and kill the termites. You know what I mean? And that's up to you guys.
And The Truman Show goes on the air, so to speak, in theaters on Friday. And in July, Jim begins work on his next movie, a biography called Man on the Moon. Carrey stars as comedian Andy Kaufman, who you remember as Latka on the 70s sitcom Taxi. Andy's taxi dispatcher, Danny DeVito, co-stars and produces the film.